Ladies and gentlemen, today we are starting our conference, FxCon 2025. So we have three dignitaries within us who will be giving their perspective on the various aspects of our business. I request the President sir to please. So now all these three people are from different segments of our fraternity. Like we deal with many kind of regulators. So RBI, enforcement, FI in the morning we had a webinar, you might have all heard it. So that is one of the regulator and accounting part. So Phani sir will take care of the enforcement related information. Desai sir, no need to tell, he is an expert in RBI related information. And for accounting, Mr. Ramesh sir.
Good evening, friends. The friends sharing the dais, thank you for them for giving opportunity to share dais with them. And thank you, Mr. Mukesh, brothers, both are Mukesh. So, Mukesh Gandhi, for giving this opportunity. They have been telling since long to organize this sort of event. And thank you, friends, all new friends meeting for the first time. I wish all the best for you. My name is Phani Kumar. I worked initially in customs and after that GST. And 50% of my time went in investigations. I worked in DRI, NCB, Narcotic Control Bureau for short time, and later larger part in ED. So from ED I got Retd. So this is my personal profile, and I'll share whatever information I know about the ED procedures. I'll be giving little elaborate about the ED. Because without knowing the concept of ED, people get feared. Once you know the concept, then we know where our position is. So I'll be taking that class. I'll be sharing that information with you. And thank you.
Now we'll ask Phani sir to start the conference and his aspects he'll be speaking. I request everybody to just make a note of the doubts if they have something to ask. Will not disturb in between the conference. After all the three dignitaries complete their speaking, then we'll ask the questions.
First, I give a little brief about the money laundering. Why it is so means to understand the concept of money laundering, why it is introduced, and to what extent our responsibility into the money laundering, not only as a business, as an individual also. Actually, money laundering meaning is very simple and straight. It came very peculiar way introduced that name. Laundering is nothing but washing. Washing the money from its original color. Original color is a tainted color, means a criminal money. That we are washing into clean money and putting into the system is a money laundering, simple. What our general understanding of money laundering is carrying money from one place to another. एक जगह से दूसरी जगह पैसे carry करना is a money laundering. या generating black money and converting into white is a money laundering. It is not exactly that. Money laundering means dealing with the criminal money. Remember, dealing with the criminal money. What is that crime? I'll let you know in our future discussions. So money laundering initially introduced worldwide in the year of 1988 to 90, in between that, because World United Nations organizations felt the need of money laundering. Why money laundering means crime money is mostly generated from drug trafficking. Drug trafficking is a big menace for the entire world. But many countries are survived with the drug trafficking. That is the reason it was encouraged in some countries, and few countries are opposing it. So initially it started with a few 7 to 10 nations, and now at present 40 nations together formed as a FATF, Financial Action Task Force. Now India also became member into that in 1990. After that, we felt the need of money laundering, introduction of money laundering, enforcement of that money laundering into our economic system. So everyone initially felt waging against the country is a big menace, means a terrorism and drug menace and smuggling. These three are felt initial areas of where criminal money is generated. After that, for our country, we imbibed many other things because our crimes are little expanded thing in our country. So we introduced many things, many things, many things. Like that, several offences are listed in the schedule of PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Those offences are many. I'll let you know few. It was initially enacted with the name of 2002 Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002, and after that is really implemented in 2005, and many provisions of other crimes are introduced in 2009. Effectively 2009 onwards, money laundering is very active in India. So scheduled offences we come. Not every crime is coming into money laundering. Every crime. Someone is evading income tax. It is not a money laundering. Someone is evading GST. Directly it is not a money laundering. So few offences where crimes are done, means waging against the country, arms trade, smuggling, and drug, and also cheating. Cheating is a major concept where 80%, 90% of the money laundering cases are now backed by cheating. Now I say about the departmental role. ED department is not taking up any case on suo motu. Remember, no crime is taken for the investigation by the ED department unless there is a crime registered by some other agency, legal enforcement agency. Either it could be police or CBI, CBCID or anything. They have to say first there is a crime in that. Any sort of crime. Crimes are many. 420 is a crime. Child labor is also a crime under money laundering. And then drug trafficking is a big crime. Waging against the country is a crime. Pollution control is also one way of crime. And environmental damage is also a crime. Like that, many crimes are listed into that. If that case is registered by some agency, then ED is coming into the picture. So without registering of any predicate offense, what we call is a predicate offense. Oh, predicate offense without registering, ED on suo motu is not taking up any case. Now, with this it is clear that ED is not suo motu taking up any cases of money laundering. They may process the information, they may summon the people, but registering the case is not done with this. So this is the primary concept of ED. So once ED is entering into the picture, registering a case with them, like ECIR, FIR is by police or some other agency. It is internal document ECIR, Enforcement Case Information Report. After registering, it will commence its investigation. Its main investigation is to protect the money, prevent the money from further laundering. Laundering is such a thing, there is only beginning, there is no ending. Laundering is such a thing, there is a beginning of earning crime money, but there is no ending. It goes on changing its phases. So that's why three preconditions are there for understanding money laundering. First, procurement of criminal money, that is earning criminal money, and layering, putting one after another, mixing into the regular stream, adding with the regular white money, white clean property, and then integration into the system. Integrating into the business system or Indian economy or economy, whatever may be the. So these three conditions are to be prevented. First, crime we cannot prevent, crime is happened. Procurement over, layering and integration is to be prevented. Otherwise, what is happening? Criminals are earning this amount and using the same money for coming out of the case. There, why so much amount is paid to the lawyers nowadays? 50 lakhs, 1 crore per day. Who are paying it? Remember, in open forum I should not say, but all illegal got money only, they are able to meet that. The government intention is not to use this money for sake of defending their case. So that is the reason ED is taking up the money laundering cases. And what it is doing, immediately after taking up the cases, after investigation, जो property मिलता, वो property को initially freeze करो. That property may be amount, jewelry, movable, immovable properties, whatever is there. It should freeze it first. And not to make available to accused for making use of it for further usage. With that he may buy law, he may buy good lawyers, other thing. He can enjoy the comforts. By the time case is settled, money is vanished. It is not available anywhere. Nowadays you are seeing banking sector, people are taking so much loans, becoming NPA and siphoning the money, and no property is traced. So they are enjoying with this amount. Just to curb that activity, money laundering is coming into the picture. Prevention of money laundering means prevention further laundering of the money. So department will be taking up these cases after registering a case by the legal enforcement agency. So that is a precondition for money laundering. And in these two types of remedies are taken up by the department. One is freezing the property, means property should be freezed immediately, and after that prosecuting the accused. Prosecuting is a criminal offense. This is a civil procedure, attaching the property is this thing. Both the issues ED department is taking up. So to start with, first it will attach the property, and after that at the conclusion it will launch a prosecution, and prosecution is filed before the court. This is a a gross procedure of ED functioning. In this, how many people are coming into this net? Unknowingly, many people, because no one knows who has done the crime. The definition of money laundering comes, whomsoever deals with the proceeds of crime, directly or indirectly, knowingly. So we will be not knowing what money is entered into my bank account, with what amount I am making a dealing regularly. I do not know. So then how to identify this? Very difficult for anybody who is making a normal business transactions. So that is the reason there is no preventive mechanism from the trade side to take precautions of money laundering. But still, with our awareness, we can take few precautions where we are dealing with the trade. Now your trade, I am focusing with your trade. Yours is only FFMC, dealing with only few foreign exchange related transactions, that too a fair genuine travelers. At times you may also deal, I think, for LRS scheme also. LRS scheme directly you may not be doing. I think you are taking them to the AD bank, and AD bank will be processing it. These are the two areas where one should be very careful about money laundering operations. Now, so far I did not hear in the country, but for two cases where money laundering case is registered against FFMC. Hardly I hear 2-3 cases. Remaining all FEMA cases only, ED department is registering. But money laundering cases, very few I heard in the country. Sorry if I am mistaken, maybe few more with the knowledge of Desai sir. Because unless you want to involve intentionally, you cannot be dragged into money laundering in 90% cases. Because recently few cases we have seen, they have load bigger margin, they try to meddle with the foreign exchange, colluded with them. One FFMC knows it well. Before dealing with the customer, I should not have dealt with this. But for sake of margins and other thing, it is fair, they have done, they landed into the trouble. So normally you are dealing with the passengers who are traveling abroad. They will be taking $1,000, $2,000. There cannot be so much fear of money laundering. But with the periodical occurrence of money transfer in the guise of sending to their kith and kin, so that should be more careful. Careful to what extent? You cannot insist documents beyond your expectation. You are not a law enforcing agency to demand whatever document you want. Within the limitation of RBI prescription, you have to procure the documents. Those documents are naturally a passport, valid visa, ticket, and a requirement. All these things. This already you are procuring. What else you have to do? To my understanding, you have to make a verification of all these documents, synchronizing one to one. At times what happens, they issue a check. That check may not be belongs to that family at all. Someone's money. So dealing someone's money and issuing a Forex card or a sort of currency to someone, it is a glaring this thing. That mistake you don't do normally with the practice. These are the areas where one should be very careful what money we are handling and whose money we are, to whom we are issuing the money. One is that is straight away you have to exercise your discretion and you get first suspicion for every transaction, not the department. Periodically someone is approaching with the family members and continuously traveling, that triggers a sort of alertness with the FFMC people. And the next is trade-based money laundering, not connected to you at all, connected only with the banks. That we need not discuss right now. So what remedies we suggest you is just take the customer profile, take the real purpose, and make a data comparison also previously, how many times he is coming periodically. And in a normal web search, you can say some institute is taking, some corporation is taking from you money regularly. That you focus more. Individuals, few people are there, government officials, certain corrupted monies, political representatives, they got so much corrupted money. They will be carrying that money. You cannot notice that as a criminal money. And there is no evidence unless it is registered by someone. No one can say, even ED also cannot say it is a criminal money unless a case is registered by someone. So even for the department itself is very difficult to identify what is the criminal money. Then how a trade can expect to know it much before? So it is not possible, but still as a profile, because you have another responsibility also to trigger these suspicious transactions and report to the FIU. In that you can make exercise of this one. So where the money you feel suspicious coming from the trade, and periodically these people are going, uneducated family, they are taking more currency, because anyhow LRS limit is there, no one will be preventing them. They take very periodically. So those parameters you have to focus more on that. So this is the concept of money laundering. You need not worry for regular day-to-day transactions unless knowledgeably you are involving into that. If someone has offered, say some bank account, I will put that amount into some other bank account, you deliver me currency. That is totally wrong. You cannot justify your transactions. Whatever transaction I am doing, I should justify it. So what for I am getting this amount, what for I am giving a currency conversion to them. So this justification you have to do for yourself, then you will be taking 90% of the precautions of money laundering. So money laundering is not a big bothering subject for you as long as you are doing a fair transaction of FFMC. So this is my understanding of FFMC applying to money laundering. And money laundering is such a draconian law, it really damages the mental peace of one individual. It damages. So that is the reason, don't involve in any sort of even emergency money. Majority people may not involve, but whomsoever involves, he is inviting a risk. It is such a draconian law, burden of proof everywhere, for every prosecution, lies on the department. A department has to prove that this fellow is guilty. Whereas in money laundering, it is not so. In money laundering, the burden of proof lies with the accused. So he should say that I am not guilty. Very difficult to say, to defend the case. If a department is attributing, you can crack down that defense. Whatever charges he is framing, you crack down that. Nothing is there, you have to prove yourself you are genuine. Very difficult in money laundering. So that is such a draconian law. The second one is attachment of property. Legally, something is happening, okay, well, legal definition is different. But what department actually doing, whatever amount I find with you, if I suspect, I have a belief that you are dealing with the proceeds of crime, I first seize that. I first propose for attachment, and after that confirmation, over. By the time it gets released, it comes for 8 years. So by that time, your valuable money is freezed, and FFMCs, in the view of ED, I am saying, wherever we reach a case under FEMA, RBI is compounding offences with a reasonable penalty. ED is not doing so. ED is imposing heavy penalty, means 100% at times, confiscating the money totally, and even for simple lapses also. How simple lapses means? Day-to-day account is not maintained. If a difference of stock is coming, ED immediately so this amount is confiscated, and apart from it, penalty is imposed. You are working for 50 paisa, 25 paisa margin, and your 100% amount is confiscated. If you want to recover that amount, you have to make 4 times of the seized amount, 400 times of the seized amount. Then only you are able to recover your confiscated amount. So it is very draconian. And ED is not sympathetic with this, with FFMC trade, because most of the illegal trade is happening with only FFMC converters. So that is the reason there is no departmental sympathy for FFMC when case is registered under even FEMA also. So one should be very careful, maintain day-to-day stocks, verify yourself, whenever you are sending amount to outside, send with a proper note, and justify your transaction as reasonably best. And never neglect your accounts for 2-3 days, where high turnovers are happening. For nominal amounts, it is okay. But bigger amounts, if someone is losing 1 crore rupee, it is 2 times of their investment. 50 lakhs is their investment, they are losing 2 times of their investment. How you make good of it? So one should be very careful in accounting. That is a primary principle. And next is thorough with your transactions, what you are doing, with whom you are dealing, whether they are fair. If you got any doubt, then you can ask one more question. Officially you may not ask, but you can ask few more questions. With that, I think FFMC can be comfortably away from the ED cases of money laundering. That's what. After that, any doubts are there? My expression is very limited and narrow to this. I am not explaining total ED procedure for you, because you may not require, you may get bored also. So with regard to this, any queries you can raise later on. I hope this will be little useful for you. Thank you. Thank you everyone.
That was very informative, and I think most of the people were stressed. Now they are relieved now, little bit. Understanding that it's not that much complicated. We must be just good at accounting. That's all.
Just to add to him that contraventions under FEMA are not a predicate offences under the PMLA. That's why whenever you get notices, only contraventions under FEMA, even what contraventions the FEMA, the FFMC can do into section 10, 11 and 12, only 3 sections. 3 sections are not predicate offences under the PMLA. My good friend has already told that FEMA ED cases are there. It is not linked to the PMLA. But you must be other cases, some are 2 cases which is going beyond the FEMA, money laundering cases may be attached to that. It depends upon the during the course of their investigation. Okay. But it's not mean that FFMCs are fully protected under the PMLA. It's not like that. Okay.
Thank you, sir. You can